Emotions Matter, brought to you by Emaww.com. That's EMAWW.com, your solution for emotional intelligence. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Emotions Matter podcast. I'm your host this week, Jason Wright. And with me, I've got another great guest. I've got Eleanor Choong. Eleanor is a co-founder of a company called Pivot Team. And it's a platform that empowers leaders and talents to build teams premised on leadership and purpose. Eleanor, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hello. So tell us a little bit more about your background, kind of what you did before Pivot Team and what led up to that.
I'm Eleanor. I'm based in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. I've been working in business development and marketing in various companies, from corporates to startups. And I spent the last 2 years before Pivot Team working with a lot of startups as I was working in an incubator here in Malaysia. And while working with those startups, it really kind of like it gave me a real interest to want to start something of my own, to want to create a company that could empower people, that could make a difference in the community here in Malaysia. And that's in a way that's how Pivot Team came about. I just felt that it was just the right time, right place for me to build something of my own.
Sure. So how long has Pivot Team been around?
So it's been, we started in January last year, so it's about 1 year now.
Very nice. So far, so good, I assume?
So far, so good. We're still, going through a lot of hurdles, overcoming some challenges, but it's been really exciting.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Well, let me ask you this. Let me throw you this little curveball. So when you're not working on your business, what type of things do you like to do for fun?
Well, I would say that I'm quite domestic in a way. So when it's not work, it's definitely family time.
Okay.
And I could tend to like things that are outdoors. And also so I do like hiking, like going out to the parks, taking a stroll, and I also do really love baking. So yeah, those are my two favorite things.
Very nice. Very nice. So with Pivot Team, help us understand a little bit more about the typical client. What's a typical client look like, and why do they come to you for help?
Well, so Pivot Team is in a gist. It's right now it's a recruitment platform. So leaders come to us when they're looking for talents to join their teams. So why we say leadership and purpose is because on Pivot Team we really highlight leaders coming forth to tell their story. So rather than just uploading like a typical a job vacancy onto a platform, and you're just highlighting the salary, the benefits, and stuff like that. On Pivot Team, leaders actually get a chance to tell their story through videos. They share their vision, their culture, tell people what it's like to be working with them, what kind of values matter, and that kind of stuff. So that when someone joins their team, that talent is actually really serious and committed to join the leaders of choice, knowing that this would be my direct manager, whom I will be following, I will be, having, seeing guidance and mentorship from, and feeling that kind of purpose in the job. So we're right now we're targeting leaders who are from the tech space, the startup space, because I guess they would be able to understand the concept a little bit better than those who are from a more traditional kind of industry. So startups and tech guys, creative content media guys as well, are our first main target.
Very, very nice. That really, really helps. I actually have a strong HR background, so as soon as you started talking about what it normally looks like, it sounded very familiar to me, and I love the fact you guys are using video and making it very, very personal. And you know as well as I do, the most important part to a hire is the fit. So it sounds like with your approach, you really allow the potential applicants to figure out, hey, this is, like you said, somebody I want to work with or somebody that I don't, and allows them to kind of start thinking about that culture and how to be part of that solution before they even get going. So I think that's great. I think you guys will do great with that.
Yeah, I mean, one of the how we really started was because we really felt that people tend to join companies, but they often leave leaders. And right here in Malaysia, you see a lot of turnovers, and the turnovers tend to be very high, especially with startups, because the millennial generation they're constantly seeking for purpose in their job, and they could be attracted by the typical benefits of a company, but when they're there in their team, working with their leaders, their teammates, they tend to feel like, oh, this wasn't what I signed up for. I don't get along with the team. There isn't really a fit. And so that's why Pivot Team really wants to help to reduce that kind of tension, that, the risk of high turnover for companies, and, create a better fit for teams.
Yeah, like what you said, I'm a millennial, so I can definitely relate to what you're saying, and I do agree with you. So that emotional side of the hire, it's interesting. You guys are being proactive about it. So you're saying, hey, this is a snippet of the culture. This is what it looks like and feels like before you get in, and I can see how that will definitely reduce turnover with folks like myself and maybe even younger. So that's great. That makes perfect sense. Thank you for that. So most of the people that you're working with are going to be the people in charge of the hiring. I guess it could be C-level execs. It could be HR people. Am I right? Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so when you think about a typical client that you would deal with, how does desire for a better company, desire for less turnover from their standpoint play into your conversation with them?
Well, I guess because for them, they have so many options, right, as to how to hire a talent. There are multiple job boards, portals. You could use social media, but I think most of these leaders, when we speak to them, they find the frustration of not being able to find the right fit. They just get hundreds of candidates throwing them their resumes, and not being able to truly see a talent. So on Pivot Team as well, on the talent side, we also have various features and functions to help the leaders understand talents better, like the love of money bar. We ask them a question, what's important to them in a job. They can upload a video resume as well. And so with leaders, they come to Pivot Team, and they really resonate with us because they too want to share their story. They really want to find a talent that not only has the right skills, but also the right attitude, the right personality, the right character for the job. One who would resonate with the mission and values of their company. And so we see that it's more of just trying to fit like a jigsaw puzzle, like just fitting in the pieces, and here's my team, I've got the right skills. But the leaders really want to find a team that can where everybody has the same heart and purpose to do the job and to do it well. And so we do try to encourage leaders to share their purpose in that way.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. When I think of the applicant, I've obviously been an applicant and I've been the hiring manager. I've been on both sides of the tables many times. One word that comes to mind, and I guess one emotion that's always fascinated me, is fear. When you think about fear from the applicant side, what is your platform or what is your approach done to kind of help alleviate that fear from the potential applicants? As far as getting involved with another new company.
Well, I guess it really comes down to the human factor. So as I mentioned before, as an applicant, especially in a way because we're targeting fresh grads, a lot of interns on the platform. Most of them, this might be their first job, and most of them, because it's their first job, that they don't want to be going to a job and finding out that they don't like it in a few months, and then they change and they change their minds. So because it's such a huge commitment, they want to make sure that it's the right choice for them, and our platform does not only provide you with the information that you need to make a decision, like location, salary, benefits, what is expected of you, but it empowers the talent to choose leaders of choice based on more than just like bullet point information, but they can resonate with the character of their leader, their leader's values, the leader's vision. So on our videos, it's not the kind of videos that you see where we highlight the perks of a company, like the free meals, the freebies, and that kind of stuff. But we highlight the heart of the leader and leadership, where so that the talent can resonate with the leadership style, the purpose, the vision of that particular team. So even within a company, there are sub teams within each division and department, and we want talents to not just join that company because of their branding, their marketing efforts, but we want the talents to join that particular team and not feel the fear of, am I going to make the wrong decision? So and also on our blog, we do have multiple educational articles to help talents, understand and be aware of how, there are so many different kinds of jobs and how to best choose the one that fits them best. So as talents, they play around our site and they apply for a job. We really want to not just eliminate the fear factor, but increase the commitment factor of talents actually joining the teams.
Very, very nice. Let me ask you this: do you guys locally or operate just locally where you are, or do you guys operate? Do you guys operate internationally through Skype and technologies like that as well?
So right now, we're definitely testing it out in the Malaysian market first.
Okay.
But also we've also reached out to like Singapore and Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
But it is definitely a global platform. Anyone can use it around the world.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know what else is out there like that, but I feel like what you've got is really strong, and I think that it'll flourish for you. It's just a great idea and a great application, and you're addressing some things that have needed to be addressed for a long time. So, really excited for you to see what comes along for the next year. So, very nice. Well, let me ask you this. This is a little bit different direction, but what does somebody go through? What does an applicant go through, and how do they get to the point of depression for people that haven't found what you're doing? So when a millennial, like you talked about earlier, gets into a company, although they may make great pay, they may have solid benefits, when they're not finding that fit, when they're not finding that piece of themselves that fits into the bigger puzzle, how does depression play into that, or how do you speak to that, if that makes sense?
Well, so even from my own experience and speaking to a lot of talents, and especially in the millennial generation, they find it difficult trying to express themselves, and also to just be themselves in the workplace. And we see a lot of them just going through the motion, doing the 9 to 6, just going back. Not being committed to the job because they just couldn't find the right fit once they've joined. A lot of them find that companies don't allow them to express themselves as freely as they want to. A lot of them expect them to just follow the procedures, work within the boundaries, and just do as they're told, and they aren't allowed to express themselves as creatively as they want to be. And we find that this most often the times not just leads to depression, them leaving the jobs, not wanting to go back into the workspace, but also we see a huge reduce in productivity in the team itself, and that we hear from the leaders. And so Pivot Team, in our blog, we don't just focus on, the top 10 things to prepare for an interview, or the top 5 things that you need to, increase your salary, that kind of articles. but we write articles from our heart, and we really help talents to understand that we understand the frustrations that they are going through. We go to a lot of colleges here, universities, and we do lectures, and we speak to talents and tell them that it's not all bad. You just need to find the right team who can resonate and share the same purpose as you do. So it's not just the leaders, sharing their stories on the video, but it's really also the talents being able to identify, resonate, and feel the same way before they commit to a job. And so, yeah, I guess, by telling them that we identify with them and here we are to help them make better decisions, we hope that we can help them, just be bold about, choosing the right team. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I love what you just said. And, the fact that you have some personal experience with that makes it so much easier from your standpoint to relate with these people. And that just makes it really, really nice. Well, I've got a quick question, actually, from one of our listeners that I'd like to run by you. So, Jake from Ohio, over here by me, has a question about desire. The question is this: how do you think desire plays into the levels that people reach with their accomplishments? So it could be a hiring manager, the levels they reach in their career. It could be even an applicant. Really think about desire and how that, drives people to where they end up. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, having worked for, this many amount of years, there are so many kinds of people, and it's hard to just stereotype and say that, that this is how someone is motivated in a job. And I think desire and motivation, might come hand in hand. It might be, they might relate because different people are motivated by different things, and they want and desire different things in their career. Some might be desiring for more money, some might be desiring for attention, recognition, just peace at work without politics and this kind of stuff. But I think that if a person really, commits to a job, knowing that this is their desire, knowing what their desire is, whether it's just to make that small difference, whether it's just to bring home bread to fund family, whether it's to create new innovation, create new products, build a bigger team. If they know in their heart what their true desire is, that gives them a reason to wake up every single morning, being excited to go to work and being excited to excel in whatever that they do, be it big or small, whether they're a leader or whether they're a team player, whether they're, just helping on the side. So I think that, desire plays a huge role in anyone committing to something. And we see that even in a job, it's more than just a job because it takes up so much time of the week and day, and it affects you in every state, physically, mentally, emotionally. And if you know what your desire is and work towards it, that it makes a difference in whatever you do.
I appreciate that response, Eleanor. Thank you for that. Now I'm going to ask you to share with us a personal story where you had to deal with fear in the professional sense and how you overcame that, and what you would advise others to do in a similar situation.
I think one of my biggest fear was not being able to be recognized for the work that I did. So I think and it ties in with depression as well, because, you've committed, 110%, that you've excelled in what you did. But just somehow, you're not recognized. And that kind of fear is it plays into what's my future going to be? Is it worth us committing to stay longer? Is it worth keeping my job? Is it worth continuing to come to work tomorrow and doing as well as I have? Because if I'm not going to be recognized for it, then why bother, right? But I think that, rather than allowing external factors on the company to affect my personal desire and values and principles, um, I think it's always important to come back to the core of why. Like, why did I choose this job? Why did I start this job? What's my purpose? What's my desire? And for me, it's just not allowing whatever people think of me to affect who I am, but to really come back to my values of, just continuing to excel in what I do, coming back to my constants, which are like my family, my faith, my values, as I've mentioned, and just continue to strive and to do well.
The power of the why. It's really, really important to know why you do what you do, isn't it?
Yeah, because I mean, if a lot of people they go to they progress in their career, but they get you know like knocked down by so many different factors, whether it's their politics or whether it's not being recognized, not moving up in their career as fast as they want to be, things not working well in their job, and all these things adds to stress, and it can really affect a person's character if they don't know why they started this in the first place. Why are they actually doing this? And if, we think that it's really important to come back to your personal desire and this personal whys. Why do you do this? Why do you wake up every single morning? And if you have an answer for yourself, then that gives you the joy and the motivation to just press forward and make the right decisions.
Absolutely. And, it's funny. I was talking to a guy earlier this week, and he was telling me that he wanted to kind of do what you did, start his own thing and try some other things, because he knows there's more out there for him than the employee lifestyle for him. But when I asked him why he wanted to do it, he couldn't answer me. He said, I have no idea. And I said, my young friend, you've got to figure that out first, because that is going to be a foundational belief and understanding for you in everything that you do going forward. And hearing what you just said really made me think of that conversation with him. And it sounds like you're really dialed into that. And I hope the people listening realize how much gold there is in this call. I mean, there's just great information here. You've got wonderful things to say, and I applaud you for that, for sure.
Yeah, and also because, just so to say, like, even though I've started pivoting, right, and my desire was to really create a product and a platform that would empower people. So not just like, maybe e-commerce or, that kind of B2B wholesale kind of thing. I want to create a platform that would really empower people, give people the tool that they need to be able to, create better teams, develop better talents, and that kind of stuff. But for me, I know that because that's my desire, right, to empower people by building something. Even if pivoting doesn't turn out the way that I want it to be, it's not going to crush my life, right? It's not going to, lead me to depression because, if that my core is to empower people, I know that I can do it multiple ways, and I'm just trying through pivoting, and this is one of it that I'm working on right now. But yeah, that's why it's really important to know what your core is and not allow what you're actually doing to determine who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Well, let me ask you this. 2017 just getting started. What's next for you professionally? What's up with what do you have planned for Pivot Team this year, and maybe anything else you're working on as well?
So definitely last year was the year where we actually built the platform. We were testing it out. We were doing market research. We were speaking to leaders, getting their opinions and feedback, and how to improve the site. But this year, we really as a team, want to go out to reach out to the mass, whether it's online or offline. So a lot of efforts through social media and online platforms, but also going out to do career clinics, career workshops with the talents, because we see so much potential in the millennial generation, who are going to be the future leaders of of every company, whether it's startups or corporate, and we really want to empower them with the right tools, the right information, the right and share with them our own experience to empower them to make better choices and to even be more committed to the teams that they would eventually join in the future. And so we're really excited to be working with universities, colleges, and also the startups to be more involved in various leadership communities. And yeah, that's our focus, to really not just not to monetize so soon, but to really continue working on our core mission and values, and from there build a bigger community, build traction, and then we'll probably think of monetizing in the future.
All right. Well, sounds great. I've really enjoyed this time today. It's been great talking with you. I'm sure our audience agrees with me very much. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.